Hey there, everybody. This is Gary from Constricted and Addicted. First thing I want to say is thank you to all the new subscribers. I really appreciate anybody who takes time out of their day to check out one of the videos that I make. I'm not a professional at this. I just do this for my fun, to show off my animals and, maybe help somebody out. But I really appreciate it. And one of the things that I want to talk about is like I check all the comments, right? Like when somebody comments on one of the videos, I will check it out. I'll look at it. And I got a comment not too long ago. And the comment was, or the question I should say was, am I getting ripped off by the pet stores? And I saw the question and I was like, is that for real? I mean, is somebody, kidding around, or is it a real question, right? So I really didn't put a whole lot of thought to it. And I was at our local pet store. It's actually a reptile store. It's not so much a pet store, but I guess you could buy a snake from there and it's a pet. So it's a pet store, but it's a reptile store. And every time I go into this place, I'm always checking it out, see what they've got that's new. I like to go right over to the snakes and see if they've got any new boa constrictors or if they've got any pythons or whatever they have, right? And the first thing I noticed, I walked over and they had a Hog Island boa there. And it was underneath a hide and I wanted to see it. So I know the people there. I asked the girl to come over. I said, can I check the snake out? And she said, it's a little hissy, but yeah, we'll get it out for you. So she got it out for me. And when I had the snake in my hands, it was no problem, no hissing. But this is what a Hog Island boa is supposed to look like. And what they had didn't look like a Hog Island boa. So I asked her, I said, where did you get the Hog Island from? And she says, well, it was surrendered to us. Somebody brought it in and they said that it was a Hog Island boa. So they know me. They know that I have a lot of animals. They know I've got a lot of different snakes. And I proceeded to tell her that what they had was not a Hog Island boa. It just looked like a Central American boa of some sort, very dark. And I told her that Hog Island boas naturally are hypomelanistic. So they lack dark pigment. And what they had there was a very dark olive green almost boa constrictor that somebody had come in and told them it was a Hog Island boa. So I showed her some pictures and she was thoroughly convinced that what they had was not a Hog Island boa. And they had it listed for like $500. Now, this is addressed to you. This Hog Island boa here was produced by Vin Russo, and I paid $350 for her. So the price tag was a little bit much, and it definitely wasn't a Hog Island boa. So right next to that quote-unquote Hog Island boa, I see an enclosure labeled Hypo Red Tail Boa. Now, I'm not really one to engage in conversation to tell people you don't have a red-tailed boa or you do have a red-tailed boa. A lot of that comes from the misinformation given to you by a pet store. But being that this is a reptile pet store, I decided to question them on it and ask them, I asked them, do you know that there is no such thing as a hypo red-tailed boa? At least I've never heard of a hypo red-tailed boa. And she said yes, she understood that it was not a boa constrictor hypo red-tailed boa. And I asked her, I said, so why do you have it labeled as a hypo red-tailed boa? And she told me that that's how the public sees it. So the public sees that boa constrictor or a boa constrictor in a store, and automatically believes it's a red-tailed boa because they don't know any better. And furthermore, because the employees that work in that store feel that they're going to sell the snake faster if it's labeled as a red-tailed boa. So, that being said, are we being ripped off by the pet stores? And I think that based on the stories that I've just told and the information just given to you, I think the decision is to be made by the people that are hearing what I just told. These are true stories. This happened just last week. And my take on this, and I'm going to give you my take on this, is that I don't know for sure that they're ripping us off, right? What I think is that they really don't know any better. Is that they've got some misinformed people, and maybe there's a marketing policy that I'm unaware of. I don't work in a pet store, and I don't plan on going to work for a pet store. But maybe there's some marketing policy that with a boa constrictor, if you label it as a red tail, maybe it moves faster. I don't know. The girl that I talked to clearly knew that she did not have a red tail boa, yet she had it labeled as a red tail boa. This is Matilda. She is my hypo jungle non-red tail boa. And the snake that was in that enclosure was no different than Matilda. A little bit bigger, but no different than her. And she had a pretty hefty price tag. I think they had her marked for $599. So, again, I don't think the pet stores, the reptile stores, or even the big box chain, animal stores are out to rip you off if they're selling you a reptile. I just really don't think they really know any better. I think that maybe they may mislabel some things, like I said, in a marketing strategy, or someone who has some bogus information about an animal comes in and says, hey, this is what I have, and they don't bother to check. So that's what they list it as, and then someone like me walks in and says, hey, what you got there is not what you have. So that being said, I don't know. I think it's just a lot of misinformation. And, if in all fairness, the quote-unquote Hog Island boa that was labeled for $500 was probably about 3.5, 4 feet long. So I'm sure there's some feeding expense, there's some housing expense. And here's another thing, right? Like, I bought a purebred Nicaraguan, which I know is a purebred Nicaraguan, from that same pet store, right? Or from that same reptile store. And I bought it for like $179, right? So the first thing I do is I go to Morph Market. I look at the prices of Nicaraguans, which are anywhere between $100 to $150, right? A bare bone, no T positives, no genes, just a Nicaraguan boa constrictor. It was like $100 to $125. Well, if you buy something from Morph Market, you're going to have to ship it. And that usually costs anywhere from $50 to $75, depending on where you live, where they're shipping it to. So if you add that to $100, $125, you got $175. Did I get ripped off? I don't think I got ripped off. I think I got a good deal. And the bottom line is that I bought the animal and I'm happy with it. She's right down here in this rack. And she's like one of my favorite boa constrictors. So what do we do about this, right? Well, if it's our first time buying a boa constrictor, we really don't know about fauna. We don't know about Morph Market. We don't know about kingsnake.com. We don't know about these other avenues in which you can buy a reptile from. But that's why I'm doing this, so that if you get this far into the video, you can go check out Morph Market. You can go check out fauna. You can go check out kingsnake.com. You can take a look at the animals that they have on there. You can compare what you're looking for in the price range, maybe get even a better animal, and you can ask the breeder directly questions that sometimes these pet stores and these box chain stores do not have the answers to. If you have a local pet store and you say, by the way, who bred this animal? How many genes are in this animal? You're probably going to get somebody who's going to go, I don't know. I've had it happen. So it's an alternative. If you go to the pet store and you spend $300 on a snake that you know nothing about, that they know nothing about, bottom line, if you're happy with it, score. You did great. If you want a better deal, go check out a breeder. Contact the breeder. Get to know the breeder that's selling you the snake. And my experience is I've always ended up with a wonderful animal. All right, everybody, I'm going to end this video with this. I've been talking a lot about my band's going on tour here. We've got about a little over a week. We're going to be hitting the road. First stop is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'll put a flyer up at the end of the video. I've got a couple of these shirts left. I think I've got 5 to be exact, right? And what I want to do is I'm going to bring the remainder of these shirts on the road. I custom made these shirts. Constricted and Addicted, that's this channel. I am a bronze member of USARK, United States Association of Reptile Keepers. And it's got a cool design on the back, talks about snakes. It says that a symbol of shedding is a symbol of transformation. They teach us how vital it is to shed what no longer serves us. Snakes must literally shed or die. As painful as letting go of what restricts us can sometimes be, it's what allows us to survive, grow, and thrive. So, if you want a free shirt, right? I'd love to meet you. If we end up in your city during our tour, come find me. I'll get you a free shirt. I don't know what sizes I got left. If you're a small and you end up with an extra large, use it for a nightgown. We are going on, my band, Neviant, we're going on tour with Soulfly. Soulfly just announced, if you're a Fear Factory fan, that Dino Cazares from Fear Factory will be playing guitar for Soulfly on this tour. So this is going to be a brutal, brutal tour, you guys. If you're into Maiden, Judas Priest, Iced Earth, Queensryche, check us out, Neviant. You'll love us. Soulfly, Max Cavalera started Sepultura. He's got Cavalera's Conspiracy and Soulfly. He's got another band that he's starting right now. So if you want to come check us out, we're going to be hitting Albuquerque, New Mexico on the 20th of August, and then we're up and down the states all the way over to Providence, Rhode Island. And like again, I will put a flyer at the end. Come check us out. I would love to see you there.